All right, so I've done one of these in a couple of years. Been using the car off and on, but not much. It sits here quite a bit, and I haven't done anything to it. It hasn't needed anything. It's actually been very reliable. But I just put a slave cylinder on it because it's installed right above one of the exhaust pipes, and it gets its share of heat. So I guess it was entitled to give up, and I hadn't had time to get around to it. I finally got that changed. And then I was going to address this problem that has bothered me. And this is what happens to cars you spend a lot of time on. But the master cylinder has always had a little bit of a leak, and I have kept a rag in there and tried to manage that. But this is what it's done over time, just sitting here, and it's kind of ruined. It's a real eyesore and something that I spend a lot of time on. So I'm going to pull this stuff out and see if I can't clean that up a little bit without turning it into a major project. And I'm going to take a couple pictures as we go, and I'm just documenting it here to have it as part of my compendium of this car from start to finish. All right, I got the master out and the proportioning valve. I was hoping that was as far as I would need to, but if this is going to be clean, I'll have to pull this back out. So I'll pull the brake booster, and then looking at the trail that the brake fluid made, it went all the way down the rail. I thought this was just dirty, but I pulled the coil. You could see that it's wrinkled. It peels up. Nothing under there but the primer. And then right here, so I'll probably pull the spark box as well. I'll try to leave the clutch master. I think I just found the reason that I've always had to use a lot more pedal pressure than I should, given this thing has wildwood front brakes, and it should just stop on a dime like every other car that I've had the wildwood kit on. Willwood, wildwood, whatever. So I just noticed taking this apart and been living with this thing for this many years. Never played with one of these, never had to change one of these boosters before. But there is an adjustment of some kind here. I don't know where this is supposed to be, so I'm going to get a shop manual and see, but I suspect there's a possibility that I didn't have the preload on this set properly, and so it's always needed a lot more pedal pressure than it should have. So this will be a huge win to get this cosmetic thing fixed, but getting that fixed is going to be an even better deal. All right, got the scraper in here and cleaned a bunch of this out. Now I'm going to put the rust treatment on this. Actually, I'm going to wash it first, and then I'm going to put the rust treatment on it. And then we'll wash that back out. And I'm really not concerned about how far that goes. I only care to get close, not going for perfection, just trying to get rid of the eyesore. So I'm not going to pull the headlight out. I'll just leave this alone and work as best I can. But hopefully I can get this clean, and then this week I can get it primed. All right, got it mostly clean. It's at least as good as it was before I primed it when we sanded it and prepped it before I painted it the first time. So we'll clean this up. I'm going to use this toothbrush from 1974 and put some rust treatment on some of these spots, and then wash it one more time and call that it. Okay, about time to put some primer on. Like a knee surgery or something, but I finally got it taped up. Yes, I definitely should have removed the clutch master, and I knew that, but I don't care. I didn't want to fool with it. So I did what I could around there, and whatever overspray gets in there will be fine for that corner. You can't see it once all this is together. Anyway, again, not going for perfection, just going for not an eyesore. And I'm pretty happy with this. I've got this sanded. It's not feathered perfectly, but it's okay because stuff's gonna mount over that. But I think we'll get a good result here because I do have it clean, got all the brake fluid out, and I'm gonna get some etch prime on this, let it sit, and then get some color on it. All right, wrap this up, got it all back together. Doesn't appear to be any leaks. I've had these towels in here for a day or two. I drove it, took it out, brought it back and put it back up on stands because even though I made the adjustment to the booster, the pedal was great, but this car does not even begin to stop like a Miata should. And the recipe is pretty simple. And the only wild card in this, or all this has been replaced, but the only wild card in this is the aftermarket booster. And I've had enough. So I'm going to find an older OEM booster and take all this back out, put a different booster on there, and see if that problem is finally gone. But this looks way better. It's actually presentable again, and it makes the rest of it look dirty. It just needs to be cleaned. But pretty happy with the way it came out. Not happy about the brakes, but also found that the balancer for the 302 apparently has slipped. It's a thing. Somehow they're made with rubber, and it's, of course, the engine's externally balanced, so there's a rubber sleeve that fails, and then the index gets screwed up between the crank pulley and the balancer itself. And the car is just awful. Vibration, between the crappy brakes and the vibration, it's just not even drivable. And so I got a upgraded balancer. I'm going to take all this down. That's better. Take all this down and swap the balancer out and see if it's going to be a whole lot better.